Salutations, Spellslingers! How are you guys doing today? My name is Pietro, and this is an attempt number two, actually, at recording a first video for this channel. Attempt number one didn't go very well for a variety of reasons. First of all, the fact that you guys could not hear me whatsoever, but we also did not perform particularly well either. I already played a league with a version of this deck, and we ended up going like 1-4, which is very disappointing. Our only win was against White Weenie, and we got like stomped over by everything else. But we're gonna give this another shot. I think there were some suboptimal plays that I made in the previous league, as well as a bit of like bad luck. So we're gonna see how this one goes now. So what are we playing? We are playing Dredge. You could try to divide this into like Red Dredge or Jund Dredge or whatever. I just think that when you say Dredge, you're talking about like a green-based deck with self-mill creatures and the ability to cast Not to the Bone and whatnot. So this is Dredge for me. More specifically, this is Marzaboi's list. Marzaboi, if you don't know, he has his own YouTube channel. Very good guy, very good player, and an excellent deck builder. He was telling me that he played a version of Dredge at Pauper 2025, the one that just happened now at the start of July, and he was very unhappy with the way his deck was playing. And a lot of the things that he mentioned are things that I agree wholeheartedly. So first of all, Exhume is just a bad card currently. Yeah, it's your highest power card in the deck by a lot. It's the card that you want to cast on turn 2 to get your troll into play and just like scam your opponent. But it has a lot of other problems that I think people don't talk about enough. First of all, it's a card that doesn't do anything in your graveyard. Like if you mill it over, it's 100% a dead card. A lot of situations you're not going to be able to exhume because your opponents who are playing either elves or gardens or spy are going to have creatures in their graveyard as well from cyclers or just like terror decks milling them over. So it's not a guarantee. So a lot of the times exhume is like just a burn spell. It's a spell that you cast to get your Lotlet Giant back and kill your opponent. And yeah, there are many spots where that's just the thing that you need and it's fine. But I think that the current metagame is not kind to that type of effect, especially because there's a lot of graveyard hate going around, meaning that a lot of the time your giants are not going to be lethal, even if you have been dredging since turn 2. And we want to, or at least when Marza built this list, he wanted a list where every single card in the whole list contributed being in hand or in the graveyard. And this is what we have. The only exception is Malevolent Rumble, which is just too powerful to not play. I have tried lots, and I mean lots of lists without Rumble to try and maximize going up to like 37, 38 creatures sometimes, but it's just not enough. Unfortunately, Rumble is just too good to not play, so we are playing it. The other big change in the main deck is that we're playing 3 Molten Gatekeepers. Molten Gatekeeper is just a fantastic card. It's a really, really good effect. Being unearthable for 1 mana is great. Hitting for 2, it's great. It's got a 3 toughness booty, so it blocks ninjas and other similar creatures from like red decks and whatnot. And it sometimes gives us the extra like 2-3 points of damage that we need to close out a game. In addition to that, you're going to see we're playing 4 Not to the Bones in the main deck. It's not a usual thing. A lot of the lists were cutting back. Some of the lists were playing like no Not to the Bones in the main deck, just in the sideboard. But after trying the deck a few times, I agree that there are matches where you just want this, and it gives you so much time, especially against the red decks, of course. And then when it's not good, you have like a package swap that you can do that we're going to talk about in a moment. And then the All Stars, I think. County Garden plus Survivor's Encampment. This one can be Survivor's Encampment or the other one from uh, Zendikar that I don't remember what it's called. They are the same. This one's just a desert, but it doesn't matter for our effects in the deck. I call these the Drumlands because of Springleaf Drum. And County Garden giving you a body plus 4 of Drumlands means that you often get the color that you want on turn 2, and that later on in the game you have enough like dorks lying around where you can just tap them for mana. You have the Eldrazi spawns that don't attack. You have the plant tokens. You have like creatures who are summoning, who are you just played, so they're summoning sick and they can't attack either. And we really want the colors in this list. Why? Because we have 7 effects in the main deck that require red mana, and these are very important. We have Ray of Revelation in the sideboard for Bogos, sometimes Elves and sometimes White Weenie, depending on the configuration that they are playing. Uh, so we really, really want this. And we always want to have double black for Dread Return. So the mana base of this deck is not the best, because we are now playing a total of 6 tap lands, whereas before we were only playing like 3 at most, one of each of the dual lands. But it is what it is. Like, we need to be a little more resilient. We need to be a little more mid-rangey. And if you ever played this deck before, you know that you often have like a window around turn 3 where you can play a tap land and it doesn't mess up your plans too much. And then the one-off Rot Farm is just to help us hit our land drops more consistently. It has both of our main colors, which is excellent. It can reset County Garden, yeah. But overall, we just want to be making all of our land drops sometimes up to turn 7 to just hardcast a Lothlet Giant. So that's the main deck. Sideboard, I think it's pretty straightforward. Ray of Revelation is for Bogos. 4 of Coffin Purge is for the Spy decks. This is very good against them. Coffin Purge makes it so they need to have Fairy Macabre to take them from your graveyard and Mesmeric Fiend to take them from your hand. Sometimes they need both, like just one is not enough. And you can just use them to blow them out of the water when they try to combo you, or just keep them in a stalemate where you slowly chip in with damage or small lotlets, or just attack them with trolls that they can't block. Um, the 4th Lotlet Giant is because there's so much graveyard hate in the format that often you're going to need the 4th one. It's not uncommon for you to mill like 2 giants early on, and then you get them exiled to a Nihil Spellbomb, and then all of a sudden you no longer have enough giants in the deck to kill your opponent. So we want the 4th one. Grudge for Affinity and other artifact-like decks. You might see in the league that I don't side the Grudges in a lot of matches where they could be good, because I think not good, where they could be used to force relics or Nihil Spellbombs early, because I just think that's not necessary in a lot of situations. I don't want a dead card that might do something in a matchup where my opponent might not even have graveyard hate. So I am like a little reticent about using these in a lot of different situations. The 4th Molten Gatekeeper and the 2 Acorn Harvests go alongside the Lothlet Giant. Like, this is a 4-card pack that in the grindier matchups we're going to remove some number of Gnaw to the Bones and put these cards in just so we have a higher density of threats. Acorn Harvest, very good at clocking your opponent early if they are slacking off on blockers. Also very good against Krark-Clan Shaman, because you can Acorn Harvest, and then if you have just one creature in play, they can't Shaman you and wipe your board. I mean, they can, but you're gonna have flashback dread return already, and your opponent's gonna be dead. And then the spicy one, which is a card that I had thought about before, and then when I saw that Marza also had the idea, I wanted to try. Subterranean Shambler. So if you're not familiar with this card, it's a 3 mana 2/3 that when it ETBs, it deals 1 damage to each creature without flying. And also when it leaves play, it does the same thing. And it has Echo for the same amount of mana. So this is mostly for Elves. Um, Elves is a really bad matchup for us, and it's a deck that seems to be on the rise a little bit, which is not great. But I think we can try this as a way to, we're playing Elves, so we can just force the dredging and the self-mill, and then when we get a chance, we can either like double reanimate this, like reanimate and sacrifice it immediately, or even like just once might be enough to force them to lose their board or most of their board, and then we have a little more time to combo them off. I don't know how this is gonna play. It is not as good against. I mean, it's not good at all against Fairies as Fang Dragon would be. But again, it still goes with the idea of every card in the deck, with the exception of Malevolent Rumble, can be milled and contribute to our game plan. Also, most of the time, first cut that I'm gonna make, Circle of the Land Druid. It's our worst creature by a lot. So it's going to be the first one to go when we want to be a little more mid-rangey and a little less aggro-ish and fast. So that's the deck tech, a little longer because it's the first one that I'm doing for the channel. And let's see how it goes. Alrighty, welcome to round number 1. We're against Artur Costa and we are on the play. I had a little bit of trouble setting up OBS Studio, but we are now ready to go. This hand has no lands, so we're gonna mulligan, and we are gonna mulligan again because we still have no lands. This is a thing that can often happen with this deck. It's a 15 land deck after all. This hand also sucks because we only have 1 land. It doesn't even produce any colors. Not a good start for our showing. Yikes! We're going to 3. And yep, that's the only playable one we've seen so far. So, yep, I'm just gonna keep a Wayfinder and ship the rest. Done. Maybe they'll think we're spy since we're mulliganing so much. Are they spy? No, elves. And it's exactly the thing that I just mentioned. Elves on the rise. Okay. I will take a Rot Farm here, and we did mill a Stinkweed Imp. That's pretty good. Rot Farm gives us 2 land drops. It's an excellent hit. And I will likely just be milling over my whole deck right now. I'm not gonna pop out their graveyard yet. Yep, Priest on turn 2 is really good. I am going to Dredge. I am also great. Hit another Stinkweed Imp. I am going to attack. They're not gonna block, and I have no intention of blocking because I don't think they'll be attacking either. So I will cycle here. What do I want? I already milled my red land, right? So I think I'll just take an untapped black source and play Rot Farm. Bounce the encampment. Pass the turn. There is something to be said about bouncing the forest, so I have double black, but I'm not gonna be taking a draw. Ooh, Crashing Drawbridge is scary. 3 mana, lead. Another priest. Do you have another dork? You do. Okay. Dredge. Alright. No point in attacking anymore. I could play a Stinkweed Imp, but again, I think I'm just like pushing ahead. I will dredge once more. Okay, we did hit Not to the Bone, which has text. It's a card that gains us life, so depending on what they do here, we could still have a shot. They can have up to 14, 15 mana, I believe. Okay, just hard casting an end. You have another one. Avenging Hunter. Timberwatch. Yikes. And a Vandal. So that's a lot of damage that we're going to take this turn. That's going to be, yeah, like 13, 14, 15, 16. Yikes. Our opponent does not have any cards in hand, though, which is decent for us. Okay. Let's do some math here. They're at 19. They don't have untapped mana. I can play an imp, unearth a gatekeeper, hit for 3, that's 16. And then, but I can't do the opposite, right? Which would be what we ideally want to do. Okay, so there's no way we can kill them this turn. So what I am going to do is basically do the same thing as last turn. I'm going to tap this, unearth, dredge, go to punchies, hit for 2. They go to 17. They're going to be at 20 again after the food token, which is fine. And then I'm just going to Knot to the Bone up to 36 and hope I'm not dead. I don't think I will be. Unless they draw like a Lead the Stampede and hit a lot of Query and Rangers, I don't think I'm in trouble. Oh, well, that's how it starts. Let's see. And they reveal 3 cards. Okay. Nyxborn Hydra's not great. Sagu Wildling. That's an interesting choice. I mean, it's a creature, gains them life. Are they going to play both of the others? Because playing the Landware Elves is 1 more damage. I'm just gonna let them do their thing, and we'll see if I die. But I don't think so. If they had hit a couple Quirion Rangers, I think I'm dead. Especially considering that they have the Hydra as a pseudo fireball thing. But let's wait. Next turn, I believe I might have lethal. I don't have another Stinkweed in the graveyard to dredge, but I can take a draw and hope. If it's a Survivor's Encampment, that's definitely lethal, and that's what we would love to see. If it's just a land, we're gonna be up to 6 mana, but we would still only have 1 red, so I don't know if it makes much of a difference. We do have another Knot to the Bone, so depending on how much damage they want to deal us here, we could buy a lot of time with another Knot to the Bone. Our opponent is deep in the tank here. I don't know if they're math. Because I don't think... Yeah, okay. Well, Sagu, you gonna correct the food. Okay, so... And I imagine you're not playing the Nyxborn? Or you are? Yeah, so not playing the Nyxborn Hydra. He's gonna leave that as a fireball for next turn. Let's see how much damage we're gonna take here. Not... Oh, okay, yeah, I was gonna say, not leaving any blockers back seems rough. Okay. So... The Dread Return is interesting. But we don't have enough mana, I think. So we took 20 damage this turn. meaning that next turn we are going to be taking 16. So 16, 17, plus 3, 22, 25, 26, 27, 28, plus 8. It's 36. 36 that I can get out of range. Yeah, I can. So let's just do the same play as last turn. Dredge. Mm-hmm. We missed. I mean, didn't miss because we hit our giant, but no new creatures, which is not great. And we are at 48, so guess we'll just see if my math checks out and if we're dead or not. Draws that my opponent can have that would be problematic. Quirion Ranger is the biggest one, because that represents a lot more damage. And I think that's Well-Wisher. Well-Wisher would also be a big problem too. Ah, come on. So our opponent drew Lead the Stampede into a bunch of creatures into Well-Wisher to try and get out of our range. I mean, again, this is a mulligan to 3. We are like running on fumes here. But maybe? I don't know. I'm not gonna take any actions. I'm just gonna let them do their thing, and we're gonna find out if we die or not. So they just played the Hydra. I don't think we're dead. How much damage is this? 28. So we hit a land, but it's not the land that we want to hit. Opponent still has no cards in hand. Okay, so our situation currently is that if I pass, by the way, this doesn't get a red source because the geothermal bog was already milled, and okay, we still have a swamp in the deck, so that's a thing. Okay, so let's start off with this because this is the obvious one, right? We are gonna do this regardless. Don't care about a green source. Let's just get more mana. Okay, so we could again do the same play. Problem is that then our opponent is going to go up to 43. No, 41. This is difficult. But then next turn we could do a double play. We could like Dread return one, and then Stinkweed sacrifice, and then Dread return another. And that would be double, but I don't know if it would be enough. Well, I guess we're gonna have to see, right? Yeah. It's gonna be the exact same play as last time. Do this, Dredge 5. We did hit quite a few more cards, but still at 17. Not great. And not to the bone. Gain 34, go to 44. Pass the turn. Yeah, and now I don't know if we can get out of this. I don't think so, because the Well-Wisher means that our opponent is Avenging Hunter. Okay, that represents quite a bit more damage, but, well, we'll see. We'll see. I think some of the problems that we had here was that, I mean, we mulliganed to 3, so it's not great. But other than that, it's the fact that we didn't hit another red source early on. And our opponent had the nuts, like I needed them to break for a while. Oh, I'm down to 1 life. That's crazy. Our opponent could have killed us and he didn't, because he didn't do the math. Yeah, and our opponent saying in chat that he that he didn't do the math because he was lazy and that he missed lethal. But I don't know if it's going to matter too much here. So right now I would need to like triple dread return, which is not a thing that I currently can do. Um, yeah, that's rough. So we were at 44 and we got dropped to 1, right? So do I want, because I already played 3, so this is my last knot to the bone, right? Mm, I have 6 mana exactly. 7 mana. No, yeah, 6 mana, what I'm talking about. I can dread return a giant. Not enough. I think our opponent just has us here. I'm gonna do the same thing again, but I'm not very confident that this is going to do it. Oh, I don't even have any more scrapworks. Whoops. Yeah, they're all gone. So, no scrapworks. Not to the bone gains is 34, puts us at 35. We technically can block. 1, 2 creatures? But I think that would still be enough to kill us. And then, even if not, our opponent just gains 10 more life again. Yeah. I mean, I'll make the play, but I think our opponent has us pretty handily on this one. And again, mulligan to 3 really didn't help. Ah, yeah, and they even got like 2 more damage here that they can put on the Avenging Hunter. Rough. Well, let's see if we're dead. Yep, gain your life. I don't think they should have gained life, actually. Maybe, yeah, and like even gained life before the thing. I don't know. Okay, so attacking with everybody? Not everybody again. Okay. Well, do I want to try and survive? Okay, let's do the math, right? Um, so that's 24, 27, 37, 42 plus 5, that's 47. So I need to block. Okay, that's 42, and I'm at 35. So I am dead, yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Rough. We tried our best. They just had the well-wisher right when it mattered most. Now, this is a matchup where I do want the Giants, and we are going to test our Subterranean Shambler tech. Uh, Not to the Bone is playable, because it gains us life, it gains us time, but I don't know how much that matters in a situation where we are just trying to be faster than them. So I am going to, and I honestly don't know the answer to this, okay? This is like a testing thing. I am gonna bring, I think, 1 Ray of Revelation in. In the case it matters, I could bring Acorn Harvests, try and make, yeah, actually, you know what? Let's just go, yeah, let's go like full self-mill creature, whatever. Acorn Harvest, especially if I'm trying to do this, right? I think the Acorn Harvests make sense. Yeah, okay, I talked myself into it. So I'm gonna swap here. Yeah, let's see how it goes. I think the Knot to the Bones look like they did more than they did that matchup. That's not great. Nope. Mulligan. This is fine. Yeah, we have pretty much everything we want. So We're gonna go land pass. End of turn, we're going to cycle probably for a black mana. Okay. Cycle here, grab a black land. That's okay, but it's not great. Play land druid, hope to hit a stinkweed imp. We did. Nice. And now let's see what turn 2 play our opponent has. It is the priest. Do you have anything else? Nope. Okay. I am gonna dredge 100%. Molten Gatekeeper. We did not hit another stinkweed imp. I am going to attack. Take my 3 point of damage. Yes. Another land druid. Yes. Tap land, go. So we have the Dread return, but we don't have... Is this Avenging Hunter? Please no Avenging Hunter. It is Avenging Hunter, yep. Okay. But you have another creature? You didn't have a 1-drop last turn. No. Huh. So I can take the initiative here if I want to, right? Do I want to is the question. Let's... Because I don't think they're going to have any sort of interaction. Maybe Fairy Macabre? That's what they're holding in hand. 4 cards? 4 cards is a lot. Because I could have 4 mana. You know what? Let's see what happens. I'm going to attack. I assume one of them's gonna die. Yep. Other one's gonna give me back County Garden. Take the initiative. Take a black land. Got my County Garden. Play County Garden, and then I'm going to play... Oh, okay. Yes, resolves. And then I'm going to play a Stinkweed. And let's see, because they came out of the gates fast with a turn 3 Avenging Hunter, but if they don't have something to go over the top, I'm not too worried, I think. Because if they attack, we trade. I do have to be more cognizant of my life total in this post-sideboard match now. This is another Avenging Hunter? It would make sense. 4 mana? Just a Hydra. Okay. So you are attacking? You are. Okay. Yeah, I'm trading. Okay. Sure. I also have to play much faster because I'm 5 minutes behind on clock. Okay. Hydra. 1 mana. Cycle. Play their forest. Yep. Do you have another play? No. Okay. So we hit a Dread return. I will... Yeah. Mutt. Dredge. Okay, so cat's out of the bag. They know about the Shambler now. We only have 1 lot left Giant, which means that we don't have the kill yet. I could kill these 3. Actually, yeah, that seems... Yeah, I'm fine with this. Bring this back. Let's bring our bad boy back. I will get my Survivor's Encampment. Got the Shambler. Kill your things. Encampment. 3 mana. Imp. And they didn't play a Fairy Macabre, which leads me to believe that they don't have it. And next turn, I can just let the Shambler die if I want to kill any small creatures. I figure I'm gonna take 5. Yep. Take 5. Are you attacking is the question. I will just take it. Yep. Got hit. Another land? Oh, really? Yeah, that sucks. Um, so now we need to... Are you just popping it? What's going on here? Smaller Hydra. Okay. Sure. I'll exile a Rumble. And they just pop everything. Okay. So I am not paying. Nope. Nope. Yep. Deal damage to everything. Alright. Land. And let the top deck battles begin. I have a 6/5, but they are gonna draw an extra card. And let's see. Yeah, that relic at the right time really. Oh, man. Yep, I think that seals it. Because now they're gonna have more, like another creature. Did they hit another? They did not. Probably like a Sagu Wildling. Maybe just a Generous Ant, just like a big beater. Opponent's not gonna be able to attack. And they had the relic at the right time. This matchup is really bad for us. Just Quirion Ranger? Okay, yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I'm blocking, right? It's just a clean trade. But then I'm very likely dead next turn. Yeah. Okay. Do you have another play? Yikes. Okay. Draw a card. You would have been good a while ago. Let's Mutt. Discard the Mire. So Dread Return forces me to tap because I tapped my things wrong. Yeah. Is that lethal? Maybe not, but it's extremely close. I mean, I'll play it, but pretty sure we're just gone here. The initiative is gonna bury us. If I attack, we die. Oh, maybe that was not true. Oh no, yeah, it was. If we attack, we die. Yeah. So, secret entrance, get another land, play another land. And I'm dead to basically anything they play. That's it? I mean, I guess. I guess that's what I'm doing. Jumping here, getting it back. Get hit for 3, down to 4. Yep, so I'm definitely... okay. Yeah, like the second Relic of Progenitus is just overkill at this point. I think there's nothing I can do here. You have another card? Is it another Timberwatch? Wow. Okay, and we're gonna draw nothing. Yeah. All right. So match is terrible. We were able to test our Shambler, but not enough power there, I think, to overcome the rest. The fact that Elves is playing Relic of Progenitus is really bad for us. If it was just Fairy Macabre, I think we would have had a better shot at that game. But Relic of Progenitus just messes us up too much. Okay, on to the next round. Okay, welcome back to round number 2. We are on the draw versus Enzyme. This hand is slow, but I think it's a keep. And I think it's a keep because we have callers, we have creatures, we have a reanimate. Is this Fae? Basic island into pass. Okay. Not a good draw. Land. Let's pass again. Nothing from our opponent. Land. Ponder. If this is high tide, I will flip. They did not shuffle. Thought Scour to clear the ponder. Just pass. And we draw another giant. Good God. So, the land ponder pass thing makes me think this is high tide more likely than anything else. So, I think we are just going to go cycle and then cycle again. I mean, I guess we don't have to do it now, right? I can see what it is before I decide. But they did not shuffle. Is this like a Lorien revealed situation? Brainstorm. But why? So, okay. So what I think, I mean, I don't even know what to think anymore. Because I don't think it makes much sense, does it? Because if they had the land, they would have played last turn. And if it was a brainstorm, I don't think they would have kept it. Okay, so they do have another land. Okay, so it is, all right, okay. So they milled Lorien Review? That's weird. Okay, so it is Terror. In that case, I do want my red mana here. The Wayfinder. No lands, that's okay. We have our tap land, pass the turn. So now they do have 5 cards in their graveyard and they have another mana source. Okay, so how many terrors are we seeing? I would really like drawing back-to-back lot left giants has not been good. Thought Scour, Land and Lorien revealed, so they could double terror now if they wanted. One? Just the one? Just the one. Okay, so in that case, I think I am just... Huh. They already milled the Deem Inferior. So my thing here is, do I want to Stinkweed Imp or do I want to land Druid? And I think I just want the Imp. Yeah, because I think I just want to use my mana efficiently. If they have a removal, it's fine. If they don't attack, it's fine. If they want to trade, fine too. but I do need to hit another mana source at some point. And I could like play a land druid and then hope to hit a land to block and get it back, but I think it's just too bad if I don't, because if I just spend 2 mana on this and it doesn't do anything, and then next turn I have to like block, I have to do the same play, but then I'm behind because I didn't use my mana. Whoop, no attacks. Fake out. Land? Delver. Alright. 3 mana. We don't want to see... I mean, if they had it, they would have played... I mean, I don't want to see you either, but I think that's what I'm spending my mana on this turn, right? It's a 3 mana play. It does have meaningful text in this matchup. It blocks, it attacks, it gives me like a ping for every creature I play. I think I'm okay with that. Opponent taking their time. Force spike. Okay, I will not pay. And that was gonna get me. I mean, not if I played Circle of the Land Druid, but still, then we're in the same situation as last turn, right? Still at my end step? Nope. Okay. Let's see if they blind flip. They do not. Land, another terror. I think that if they had, yeah, it's the cryptic serpent, I think. I think if they have another threat, they want to attack first. Yep. Yeah, because there's no way I'm not blocking here. And I'm also not going to be dredging, because I need to hit my land drops. This deck can play on a low land count, but I would rather not. Yep. That's it. That's it. So I think I'll take one more draw before... Okay, yeah. I was going to say I'll take one more draw before things get too dicey. If they have a counterspell, this is a good target. They know I'm kind of screwed on lands. Would love to be playing... Oh, it resolved. It's nice. And we didn't hit again. So we are... Yeah, I'm passing. So we are 23 cards into our deck, and we only saw 3 lands, one of which I cycled for. Delver doesn't flip again. Another land. Okay. 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 Yeah, I'll take the first hit. I think the first one is okay to take. And I don't know now. Still don't think. Yeah, no, still don't think I dredge. Okay, let's try again. I guess that there could be a world where I should have left the red mana up to try and dread return something if I hit it, but I'm not too confident. And then this is the turn that I have to start blocking, because it's too much power. Okay, so I would love to get the County Garden, but I do just need to cast my spells. So here, this could get hit by another Force Spike, that's fine. It is what it is. It does not. Okay. Yes. And there's our lands. Okay, so this is an interesting situation because even though it looks really bad for us, and it is really bad for us, I think depending on how our opponent plays this, I think there's a chance. And third turn in a row, Delver doesn't flip. Another land. Okay. So I think we can safely assume there's no Force Spike. I had like multiple situations where Force Spike would have been good. Likely they have a hand of like Counterspell and Spell Pierce. And I do think I want to block here, the bigger one, just so I can get back another red source. Yeah. Survivor's Encampment. Another Serpent. Okay. So 2 cards in hand, and now I will Dredge. All right. So Dread returns, lots of them. I think I am just going to start easy, maybe. So I can't. No, that's not true actually. Maybe I just want to set up because I do need to block 2 next turn, or I'm dead. But if I produce 2 creatures this turn, that's not even that much of a problem. Alternatively, I can just try to gnaw to the bone and see what happens. Do I like that? Gives me time, right? Yeah. Yeah, why not? So, land, the, the, the. Let's play Gnaw and see what happens. 26 life is not infinity against this deck, but it's a couple turns probably. Yeah, okay. They let it resolve, meaning I can just play a land druid. It's another creature, it's another guaranteed land drop. Yes. Okay. Up to 14 creatures. Still not as many as I'd like. Let's see if the Delver finally still Delver not having a good time researching. I will chump block again. I want my land drop. Absolutely. And I actually do think this time. No, that's not true. I'll just take the encampment again. I just want more red mana to try and push through this. Another Delver of Secrets is fine. Okay. Stinky. Okay, that was good. So we have multiple gatekeepers to get back now. How do we not lose? So let's do some math. Let's say, yeah, I think we're, yeah, I think we're good. Okay, so black, black, one whatever, black again. These 2 are the only ones that I want. I'll just hard cast. Where's my? Oh, I still haven't hit another. Oh, darn. That's sad. I still don't have my Lotleth Giant. Okay. Change of plans. Yeah, gonna have to change the plan. Darn, this would be a really good. Okay, I think I'm just gonna go all in, right? Because even if I miss, I'm not dead. Okay, so never mind. Gatekeeper. Gatekeeper. Why is this giving me priority? tap here. 1, 2. Yeah, unfortunately I can't do the thing. Mutt. And I'll actually just take a draw, because if I hit an untapped land, it's really good. And if I don't, the thing doesn't change too much. Discard. Yeah. Oh, I played a land already. Never mind. So I'm dead to double counterspell, but I am not dead to counterspell spell pierce. Yes. Okay. So it's safe to attack with these, because there's no way he can block. They can block. Take 4. Try again. Yeah, there we go. Okay. All right. Whew. That was kind of dicey for a bit, but we came out on top. So we do need the Coffin Purges because of Sleep of the Dead. Sleep of the Dead is extremely annoying for us. Uh, Acorn Harvest, pretty decent at chomping up the ground. I actually don't think Molten Gatekeeper is the best in this matchup. I think I would just rather have like actual creatures that mill me. Even if like it was really good that time, I don't know if I want to keep it. I don't want grudges or shamblers or whatever. Probably cut back 1 Knot to the Bone, and then I think that's it. I don't think we need a 4th Lothlet Giant, and 4 Knot to the Bones can just get stuck in hand, and then they're not great. I think that's how we're gonna do it. And this is a matchup where Land Druid is actually pretty decent, especially with all the County Gardens and, I mean, the value lands, right? Because this is a creature that will block and die often. If our opponent is not attacking us with the snakes, we are mostly okay. So they will be attacking us out, and then the Land Druid is pretty good. And that's it. Let's see what our opponent is going to try and do. I have in the past played Bojuka Bog, either in the main deck or in the sideboard, specifically for this matchup. When I was seeing a lot of blue terror in the leagues, Bojuka Bog was great. There is an argument to be made for playing it now too, because Bojuka Bog is just like such a good land overall in the grindier matchups and whatnot too. But I think we really don't want any more tap lands. But if you know your meta has a lot of terror decks and grindy, sneaky snacker decks, Bojuka Bog is absolutely a nice thing to be doing. I'm gonna keep this hand. Double Knot to the Bone is not great, but the fact that I have 2 mill creatures and I have Dread Return makes me happy. Yeah, I'm fine just playing the tap land turn 1. We don't need to go aggroing with the cycling, and we want the green mana on turn 2. Okay, just passing back. Alright, not a great draw. 2 mana, Greeter. I would imagine this gets countered if they're holding up mana. I think if you're... Nope. Do we hit? We do. Oh, and it's 2 good ones. Yeah. I I really like both of them, but I think in this particular situation I want the County Garden. I was gonna say that if you're playing as Terror against Dredge, your counter spells either have to hit early to stop your opponent from actually assembling a game plan and being able to do anything, or they need to hit late on the cards that are very valuable, using them like in the mid game as sort of, whoa, that's aggressive. Is this just to put a card in the graveyard? Wow. Okay. That's not something that I was expecting. I'll play a Wayfinder. I don't think I would hit a land that makes me play, that makes me not want to play County Garden, but yeah, that's not it. So I'll take this, but I'll still play my garden. Uh, that Sleep of the Dead line is way too aggressive for me. I don't know what they're thinking about. Yeah, especially since they didn't even mill end of turn. What are they trying to do? Because essentially, oh, so they just okay. So what I think is happening is that my opponent over sideboarded, and then their hand is just stuck with interaction pieces. What is this? Are yeah, you can't do that. Or deep analysis, hardcast. I think they were trying to play a terror, but realized they can't. Yeah. Okay. So I will attempt, because they didn't counter any of my plays so far. I'll just attempt to reanimate a troll. Not a troll, a giant. And here I want the giant because it's 5 immediate damage. And this is not a deck that is going to chump block. So if they have a counterspell, sure, I want to just get this out of hand. What do they just have like triple terror? Okay, counterspell. All right. So get hit for 1. Always take the chip damage every time. Chip damage is the difference between winning and losing with this deck a lot of the time. Okay, so now they have the necessary lands to play a terror, and they hit a Thought Scour, but they hit Delver Island. Not great. Okay, but they still have the mana necessary to play a thing. But if they do, I'll just another one, Serpent, and another Sleep of the Dead. Okay. Is this the turn of double terror? Question mark? 1? Delver. Okay. So they're tapped out, which means that this is our window to try and do something. Huh, that's a good draw, because we can get rid of both of those. All right, so I don't even need to tap anything, right? Because I can just cycle like this. Okay, so I am going to cycle, get another swamp, which I still have. Black, black, green, whatever. I'll just dread return again, and I will still get the giant. 6 damage, pretty good. No point in attacking, we can just pass the turn, but I think our situation is much better now. See if the Delver flips. It does on a counterspell. Good card. Good card to flip on. If our opponent attacks with both, I am trading my giant for the terror. The giant in the graveyard is possibly more damage than the giant in play. And I do have a lot of fodder, and I have 2 dread returns, so I'm okay making that decision. 5 lands. I would like to have a 6th one. What's this? You tapping my giant? Yeah, you have a lot of fodder to get rid of. Yep. Okay. And I am just gonna take the hit because I have double knot to the bone in hand, so I'm not at risk of dying too soon. My opponent's draw was very clunky. I don't know exactly what they were hoping to accomplish, but it was very clunky. I'm fine taking this. Yeah. Do you have another terror? No. Ooh, and there's the untapped land that I wanted. That's nice. Okay, so I'm gonna start with Land Druid. Hopefully hit another giant. There he is. If this is not lethal, it's pretty close to lethal, right? Yeah. You can just unearth this. Discard the Acorn Harvest. Ooh. Crash in for 3. Yeah. And I think my opponent is just dead. Because I have a plus... Oh, I don't even need to sacrifice the giant, right? It can just be the Land Druid. And this is already +1. Yeah, that's what we need. Get back the encampment. See if our opponent is dead. They are. GG's. So that was pretty good. As you saw, what I said, like not to the bone, stuck in hand. But our opponent's draw was very clunky, like gut shot and multiple sleep of the deads. They didn't have any cantrips early on, and they didn't have a threat. I don't think that was a good keep by them. Of course, I don't know what they kept versus what they drew. But I don't know if Gutshot is a good card in this matchup regardless. I think it's just too small for what you want to do. Uh, it doesn't kill the Stinkweed Imps. Trading like 1-for-1 with my 2 drops is not great. I think you just want more stack-based interaction rather than removal spells. But I'll take it. 1-1, let's go to round number 3. Hello and welcome to round number 3. We're playing against Fragwell 2. We are on the draw, and this is a keep. Yep. We have untapped land into green source into 2-drop. What is this? Immediately cycle for Ash Barrens. Plains? Is this familiars? Well, yes, plains. So it is familiars. Okay. So current familiars lists are not playing a lot of interaction main deck. What is this? Okay, lands are pretty. All right. Current familiars lists are not playing a lot of interaction main deck, which means that we have a good shot at just overpowering them if we can start sticking our creatures early on and then force multiple dread returns in a single turn. Meaning that I'm just going to start putting creatures on the board. And because of the reason that I just said, I'm going to take Khalni Garden over Wooded Ridgeline here. Because Khalni Garden is a creature for our purposes. So they're playing this now, meaning they didn't have it last turn. Negate is up. Considering... Yeah, I think I'm okay dredging here. I'm not going to attack. I'm just going to play another... Do I just try to force it? Yeah, I think I just try to force it, right? I have like a million land drops for the next turns. So I could immediately try to dread return. And I actually think that I will. Because the only thing that gets me here is negate. If they have a prohibit, I am fine. So I'll just try to do this. Put some damage on the board. Yeah, great. So hit for 11. And I have a 6/5. They can snap me, sure. They didn't. Okay. So they can snap my giant, but they can't really, I don't think, Oh, second familiar is worrisome. What's this? It is the snap that I was talking about. Okay. So they did have it? Hmm. Just pass the turn. I will dredge. So I could get hit with a prohibit for 4 here, but I think that just like it is what it is. I'm not too worried about that, honestly. Um, what are we doing? I just want to land as many creatures as possible, right? So, yeah. Mutt. Rot Farm. And I normally wouldn't do this, but I think this is a situation where I do want every creature that I can get my hands on. Flicker? No. Medium Mines? Thraben Charm. Rough. Okay. So I lost 1 giant, 2 dread returns. Okay. So our opponent is a little down on card advantage, but they can fix that very quickly if they hit. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. And if they have the Ephemerate here to pair with that, do they? No. Good for us. Okay. Land drop, pick up an island. Okay. So Thraben Charm was really bad for us, but at the same time, we're still playing. Um, if they had ephemerated, I think we would be in a really bad shape now. But things as they stand, I'm not too worried. I am going to try to recover some of the lost critical mass. Let's see what we get. Just some random creatures. I don't have anything to do with these 2 mana, unfortunately. I will just play the Geothermal Bog. No point in attacking. The thing that I don't want to see the most is just card advantage. If they're playing like a couple things a turn, I think I'm okay. Hardcast Null Drifter is not good, because that's a 5 mana play. Puts them up 2 cards. But I will... Oh, that's just Archaeomancer for Thraben Charm? Is that it? No, Archaeomancer for a Snap. For a Snap? Why? Are you going to immediately redo your play? Like, that's not infinite life yet. You need another bounce land for that. Yeah. Okay. That's odd. So they just did that because it was... Okay. Okay. So I know they have Archaeoman. That's absolutely the worst possible draw because this card doesn't do anything in this matchup. So we are very close to just straight up dead. If our opponent shows us that they have something like another bounce land, we're just dead because Archaeomancer plus 2 bounce lands. Oh no, actually it's not, right? Because he would need 3 blue, and he can't really do that. Not without High Tide. Okay. So I'm just gonna play this, and yeah. I can't really attack. There's no point. Opponent just blocks. The probably one off the Raven Charm really screwed us here, but we'll try. We'll try. But it's not gonna take much to make me concede here. Like a single Ephemerate locks us out of the game because then they can Thraben Charm us repeatedly and we're just dead. High Tide is infinite life. Okay, Archaeomancer. Ghostly Flicker is also infinite life here. Yep. Gain 2. Pick up the snap. And that's also our, like, so we had 2 dead draws in a row. I am comfortable tapping out here. Uh, the Thraben Charm uh, just completely blanked us. Not great. So I do want Gatekeeper. Oh, so all 4 of these gone. Gatekeeper in. Then I do want the other Lothlet Giant. Acorn Harvest is pretty good. So when playing against these slow, very controlly decks, I don't mind shaving a couple imps for maybe a couple. Oh wait, I'm doing this wrong, right? These go here. Yeah, like shaving a couple imps for a couple coffin purges. I think that's completely fine. The imp is decent in some points, but overall I'm not a big fan. They don't seem to be playing the modern age familiars, so Ray of Revelation is not very appealing, and I think that's it. We don't have what would be one of our best cards in this matchup in Mesmeric Fiends, but, well, we'll try to do our best. Acorn Harvest early is really good as just a way to pressure. The Familiars players really need to like have blockers early on, because if they don't, we can just like completely not give up on the graveyard plant, but just like flood the board with little dudes that do like chip damage every turn. Not great. 2 hands in a row without a land, and our opponent has kept. Oh no, not yet. They have kept, but we are mulliganing to 5. 4. Yeah, not the best. Let's like land into. Yeah, I think I'll just send the mud away. I'm not confident at all. Like a 4-card hand against familiars is a death sentence basically. We'll try to make it work, sure, but I'm not very pleased with this. I'll just take the Coney Garden. It's an extra creature, and it allows us to Dread Return next turn, actually. Because we're going to go Wayfinder into County Garden. Let's see if they play something. They do. Relic. Okay. So, hit for 1. Town Greeter. Okay. Yep. County Garden. Dread Return. That's decent. That's 5 damage on turn 3, and we have a 6/5. So now our opponent really wants a snap. Okay, are you doing anything with that mana? Do you have it? Yeah, that's rough. Having the snap on turn 3 and untapping your bounce land is intense. Just evoke a Mold Drifter. They're gonna have to discard a card. Don't think it particularly matters for them. That's a good draw, because that's just a creature that puts pressure. But I will try to double spell this turn, even if it's not very likely. Oh, we hit. Fantastic. So land, mutt, discard giant, pass the turn. And this is actually like a respectable amount of damage next turn. Faithful, Sunscape, land. Okay. So this can be negate, this can be envelop. It's a lot of things that this could represent. I'm not attacking regardless, so I will double rumble. Okay. And sure, I'll take a land druid. Yeah. Sure. Yes. So this is actually very close to lethal. It's not quite there, but it would be very close. I am gonna make the play regardless. Uh, I don't know if our opponent has something that they can do or not, but I am gonna try, especially because I get a land back, so I can rumble immediately, and they do have the negate. Not great. Bring it back. And I think I just pass. I'm just gonna pass because I want the Drazi spawning game in play. Just hardcast Mold Drifter. Hardcasting a Mold Drifter here is a pretty good sign for us. Because if they had it, they wouldn't have to do that. Nice, so they are tapped down. Uh, Now, keep in mind, there could still be foil shenanigans, but I'm not gonna respect that. I'm just gonna go for my play. So I just want to hit another Dread Return, right? Yeah. And I actually I can dig very deep. That's not it, but I will take a land. Red. Something. What? Do I already have an imp in the graveyard? I do not, so I do need to discard this. And there's the last Dread Return, which should be lethal, right? Yes. And let's see if we got there. Or if we're gonna get foiled. We got there. Nice. Okay. So we took down game 2. As you saw, what happened there was that we were able to be aggressive enough because of the County Garden. Like turn 3, we played a giant that hit them for 5, which was the difference between comboing out uh, now or probably losing the game. Because if we didn't have the extra damage, we wouldn't have the necessary amount to kill them this turn if they were still at like 20 or 21 life. Okay, so that's pretty good. They saw we have the Coffin Purges. Do we want to switch? I don't think we do. I think Coffin Purge is decent enough. Sometimes Familiars lists, they play like one-off prismatic strands, which the Purge also hits. Uh, I think I think we're just gonna send it back as is. Having our opponent on the play is not great. Come on, opponent. Mulligan a little bit for us. And this hand is like they kept 7. So this hand could be good, but it can also not do anything. I think I ship it. I think I'm playing, yeah. I think I'm playing a match where I want to play on curve and I want my colors. So a hand that maybe doesn't do anything until turn like 3 is not gonna cut it. Okay. Imp is not a great draw. I would have rather have that in the graveyard. But I do have an attacking creature on turn 2. And then I have the chance of either double spelling on turn 3 or playing a tap land. Okay, Chancery is really good for our opponent. Okay, Survivor's Encampment is like a drum land. I think that's okay. We hit, nice. So hitting the Stinkweed Imp early is really good, especially in a situation where we already have most of the land drops we're going to need for the game, and we have a Dread Return in hand, because that's what we want to have. Okay. That actually allows us to double spell next turn. It's not too bad, but I would imagine they're going to play a Ford. What is this? Archaeomancer? Just, oh, okay. Muldrifter plus Ephemerate. Yeah. So they're going to go to 8 cards in hand. They're going to discard 1. That is a lot of value. Okay, let's see if we can keep up. Molten Gatekeeper's fine. Rumble. Sure, I'll take a Mutt. Land. Grain. So even though we are double spelling, we are not getting 2 creatures. Oh, but double Acorn Harvest is decent. Our opponent's going to have 10 cards in hand to start their turn, so that's a lot of answers that they can have. Preordain. They are digging very deep, but they are not gaining life. Okay, I didn't even see what they did with their preordains. Top, bottom, bottom, bottom. Okay. Just move to discard. Move to discard. Okay. What's going to be a couple ends? Mystic and Contaminated Landscape. Interesting. Okay, so I think I am heavily incentivized here. I don't even know, right? Because like double Gatekeeper plus double Acorn Harvest would be the nuts. I cannot do that. I can do double Gatekeeper plus Harvest plus... No, but I don't have a Lothlet Giant to Dread Return. So basically I have to decide, do I want to play against Counterspell or Thraben Charm? Because if I'm playing against Thraben Charm, it would be better to just do this whole stuff now. Yeah, I think I'm just pressuring the opponent, right? Sure. Sure, let's do that. Are you going to Thraben Charm me? If you are, now's your choice, your chance. And it is a pretty good chance. Nope, okay. Tap Town Greeter for Gatekeeper number 2, and unfortunately I am going to miss a couple points of damage to be able to do this. Because then I need to encampment, right? Alternatively, I can just Scrapwork Mutt. Yeah, let's crash in. Let's see what happens. Let's see if our opponent takes 4. Okay. Then I can Mutt. And opponent takes 2 more, and I am going to Dread Return. I mean, I'm going to Dredge first. Didn't hit. But considering the situation, actually, I don't even know if I want to Dread Return. Because if I do, I get back what? Like a troll? Our opponent already played one snap. This is rough. Sure, I guess I'll try. Yeah. Ah, he would have been such a good play with the Acorn Harvests. And maybe... Is it Raven Charm? Because... Just negate. Okay, negate's fine. Negate's gonna get me at some point regardless. What was I gonna say? Oh, it would have been amazing to be able to at some point just get them with like double gatekeeper into double acorn harvest, but that would have taken so much. It would be like turn 6, so like 2 turns from now, and it's not even a guarantee that I get there. Okay, so opponent hit us, ephemerated their Mold Drifter, they're up a mana. Archaeomancer? Archaeomancer pick up negate. Archaeomancer pick up ephemerate. Okay. So the really bad scenario here is if our... right on time, huh? Okay, we can still do something with this. So the really bad scenario here is if our opponent has envelop, because if they have envelop, that just cuts us out of most of our plays. I can't really attack, so I guess I'll just harvest, put some dudes, and land, probably pass. If they don't do anything, I get a chance to cycle my troll, which still gets an untapped land. They didn't cast Ephemerate. And I think our opponent solved the Coughing Purges game 2. So they know they are a possibility. They're just gonna pass. Okay. I'll just cycle this. See if that forces our opponent to move. It doesn't. Okay. Red. Any color. Let's see if we can get a mutt to force them to do something. Still nada. I mean, if they have a Thraben Charm, they have a Thraben Charm, right? That's no giants. So I have 4 giants in the top 21. Do I want to try again? No, I think I'm okay. Yeah, I think I'm fine just wayfindering. It does, okay, it really does feel like our opponent has some sort of interaction, but I guess we'll see. Crash in. If I think they're just gonna block the mud. Nope, just take 4. Okay. Um, so I don't think this is going to succeed, but I am gonna try anyway. Right? Or do I just want to hold? Because I could just hold. I think Thraben Charm just gets me regardless. Yeah, I think I'm fine holding. I think I'm okay. Okay, so there's the Ephemerate we knew was coming. Let's see what they're going to try to get back. Targeting, Rearding, yep, okay. I am fine with this. Sure. Sure. Target. Yep, thought as much. I mean, we gotta try, right? Okay, that worked. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Bottom, bottom draw. Okay. Okay. So I think the biggest thing right now is that 9 life is just like attainable. We can just deal 9 damage to our opponent if we so choose. So let's see. It's just Gatekeeper. Okay. Acorn Harvest. Opponent seems to be thinking. Hmm. Interesting that they stopped here. Okay, are they trying to cut me off of mana? Let's see. Okay, Ephemerate resolves. Archaeomancer's target. I will try to purge it. Resolves. Harvest resolves. Take 2. Okay. I can attack. One's gonna take 3 again. Yeah. Okay. Attempt to dread return once again. Negate. do you have another one? I wonder. Did I play my land? I did not. So, yeah, I can play the County Garden. And try again. Nice. Nice. Got there. So, um, very good friend of mine, Igor Grecia. I don't know if you've heard of him before. He's a Brazilian player as well, level 2 judge. He has a primer on familiars. He went to play Pauper and he was the familiars player who placed the best. I think he top 16 Pauper. The thing that we talk the most about is that this matchup is favorable for familiars. You have a lot of interaction, you have life gain, lots of things that get you out of reach. But the point that the point where Dredge applies the most pressure is on repeated Dread returns in a single turn. So what happened here was we placed our opponent on a low enough life total where any single Dread return would give us a kill. Obviously, we were a little lucky. They didn't draw a Thraben Charm over the course of the game. That's fine. But we had the Coughing Purge to interact with their counter spells that they would normally get back via Ephemerate, and we set ourselves in a situation where we could Dread return twice in a single turn where both of them required to be answered. If our opponent had one more piece of interaction, we probably would be dead. Yeah. But since they didn't draw it and we set ourselves up very well for this situation to happen, we took a W. That's great. See you guys for round number 4. Hello and welcome back to round number 4. We are on the plate against Forester. This hand is fine. It's not exciting, but I have two drops. I have a Knot to the Bone to help us stabilize if the situation calls for it. I don't think we need to worry too much about mulliganing this one, and it seems we are going to get rewarded for keeping a Knot to the Bone hand. Where were you last turn? I would have really liked to have you last turn. We did not hit any creatures, but not we did not hit any lands, but we did hit a Stinkweed Imp. Now, let's see which variation this is. So, Lava Dart signifies that this is Madness Burn, which is the worst of the burn decks for us by far. This is a deck that is able to just kill us faster than we can stabilize. The fact that we are on the play with a Stinkweed Imp early and enough lands to cast Knot to the Bone is a really good sign. But at the same time, if they stick like a turn 3 Gutter Snipe, we could just end up dead before we can do anything else. And this card in particular is really, yeah, this card in particular is really, really good against us. A 1 mana deal 1 damage that just allows you to deal like 5 damage in the late game with a couple pingers is insane. Blocked, grab the prize, discarding Faithless Looting. Okay, so worst possible draw that we could have had. I'm not gonna do anything fancy. In my experience, what I learned is that you don't want to do anything too crazy here. You don't want to try to catch them, like try to cast your Knot to the Bone in response to their last burn spell. Don't do any of that. Just take your turn, gain your life, stabilize as best you can, and that's it. Huh, so they went after the plant? Okay, interesting. Great, Rumble is great. Ideally, I want a Grabland, a Drumland, which we did hit. Fantastic. Now, we have 3 mana, which I think I'm just gonna use for... that could get a little dicey, you know? Because if I sacrifice my spawn, to play the imp, but at the same time, like if I don't, they can just kill it anyway. Yeah, I'll just put an imp into play. And the reason I'm just going to put an imp into play is because I have another one in hand if I need to discard it. It's a more resilient creature, and it is a creature that, yeah, okay. And it is just a creature that blocks Epicure and Snackers and whatnot. So what our opponent is doing is that they already realize that they cannot burn us out. We have way too much life, and they know we have another not to the bone in the graveyard. So what they're trying to do is that they are attempting to set up enough of a board where over the course of some turns and attacks, they can kill us while controlling our our creatures, so we don't like punk them by dread returning all of a sudden. That is a valid strategy, but I have a lot of life to deal with, and they are not hitting their best creatures right now. Faithless Looting, Snacker Robbery. Okay, so that's the first card that allows them to set up their situation a little better. I am not gonna dredge, I don't think. I'm more interested in hitting lands or... not you in particular, you are not great. So guess I'll just Stinkweed Imp. Hope it survives. Right? I don't think it's gonna survive, but I think that's what I'm gonna do. And I chose black here over red when I cycled my Generous Ent because black mana, yeah, see, but because black mana is much more important for us than red if we don't have either. So 2 black mana is really important for dread return purposes. And yeah, red mana is great. See, fantastic. Red mana is great, but if we don't have black mana, red mana becomes much less useful. So I can't really just kill my opponent, but I can put a Lothlet Giant in play, which is what I am going to do. Just straight up Dread return a Lothlet Giant. I don't think our opponent can kill us from 41 without a Gutter Snipe. If they had a Gutter Snipe in play, I maybe would reconsider, but from just this board, they are very far away still. However, they do have double Lava Dart in the graveyard, and Lava Dart is a hell of a card. Okay, so they are going to double spell on my giant to kill it. Okay. The other one too? Yep. So our opponent spent 3 burn spells and sacrificed 2 lands to get there. My plan now is just to get the 7th land drop and just hardcast this and kill our opponent. There it is. I do think there is some incentive to gaining the life that we need. Actually, yeah, I don't need to do anything else, right? As I myself just said, no need to get fancy, gain your life, pass the turn, our opponent is dead. Unless they somehow have, like, main deck graveyard hate, I think we're fine. Sure, you can attack, I don't care. Sure. And then let's just do our thing. Hardcast Giant, 15 to the face. Great. Wow, that was excellent. So, Sideboard. Um, Giant is good because it's just another creature. Ancient Grudges can be useful, but overall, I think I would rather just try to force our opponent to crack their things. Again, Coffin Purge hits Snackers and Grudges hit Relics, but overall, I think that's just too much of a small game. I think I'm just gonna put another Giant to make sure I have enough to kill my opponent eventually and shave a Circle of the Land Druid, and that's it. Let's go back. Having 4 Gnaw to the Bones is really, really good. Um, hmm. If we had one more land, this would be an easy keep. We do not. And this is a keep. What am I sending back? So County Gardens are good. Problem is I'm very slow, right? Because I only have tap lands. So I think in this case, well, we do have all of our colors. Molten Gatekeeper blocks, which is relevant, but not until turn 3. Yeah, I think I'm okay with this. Let's see how it goes. Okay, no double snacker. 1 snacker. It's a good draw. Yeah, I'll play a County Garden. Like if our opponent is playing Searing Blaze, this could enable his Searing Blaze to like shoot on our plant token and then come flip, come face. But I don't think we're dodging that anyway, even if it's not on turn 2. So I'm okay just putting the plant into play. Okay, so took a lot of damage already. Sure, I'll just play this, pass the turn, and then my plan now is to end of turn cycle one of the trolls, untap, play Rumble, and then hopefully play another 2-drop, and hope that our opponent doesn't have lethal on turn 4. Good, that's a very good sign actually. Opponent is flooding quite hard. Oh, gosh, okay. Yeah, I messed this up. I was supposed to cycle this. If we lose because of 2 life, it is on me. Because I messed that one up really badly. Let's hit a bunch of creatures. Yeah, that's fine. 3 creatures is fine. So because we don't have the swamp, we actually can't. Oh no, I guess we wouldn't have been able to regardless, right? I have my lands. I'll just take a Wayfinder and play Haunted Mire, pass the turn. Opponent could have End the Festivities, which would wipe our creatures out. Oh, gosh darn it, should have cycled. My bad, guys. Just a little bit too trigger happy. However, the fact our opponent went after a creature probably means they don't have lethal. Yeah, okay. So, dredging, 100%. Didn't hit great. But I am going to just cycle, hit a swamp, Gnaw to the Bone, gain 10. Pass the turn. If our opponent had started this game with a Relic in play, we would be in trouble, because the Relic would have given them enough of a window to just burn us out. 21, but they flooded really badly. Discard, taking 3? No, one more land. Yeah. Gutter's Knife is the card I don't want to see. Because Gutter's Knight possibly represents like 10 damage next turn by itself. Maybe a little less if I can block it, but plotting another highway robbery. Alright. Not great. So, now we come back to the thing of like, do I want to play this or not? And honestly, I don't think so. I think I'm just gonna cycle this, even though I know it's not gonna hit any lands. Send this to the graveyard. Yep. Play a tap land. Yep, make my plan. Gain 12. Because I just want to be stable enough where I can't randomly get punked out by like Gutter Snipe into Highway Robbery into like double Fire Blast or something. What did they discard? Faithless Looting. Hit the 4th land drop, hit for 1. Okay, Kasig into the Relic. Okay. Sure. I'll exile a Rumble. Okay. Wayfinder. Rot Farm is really good here. Okay. So I think I'll just force the Relic. I can't imagine they're not going to do this because otherwise they need to double burn the Lava Giant. Yeah. Sure. I'll do this again and gain 18 life. I think that's good enough. Exile graveyards. Dread Return fizzles. Rot Farm. Pick up County Garden. Pass the turn. And our opponent also lost something? Yeah, like a looting and a lava dart, I think. Take 3. We have not won this game yet. Just be mindful. This deck can very easily get up to 40-50 damage in a turn. But now's the time where we just start dropping our big creatures and hopefully that's enough. Okay. Okay. It's a lot of setup. Not relic number 2 is not great. Yeah, and now they're gonna double burn my troll. Yep. And we are already down to 34. But our opponent has no cards in hand. I'm not gonna block, it's just 1 damage regardless. That's an excellent draw. Probably the best draw we could have asked for. I'm not gonna just tap this. Generous Zent is really good in these situations because it's just enormous. It doesn't die to double burn unless it's a Fire Blast, and it's a creature that comes with 3 life attached, and it is a decent clock. And its opponent no longer attacks. That's excellent too. Hit for 5. Let's see if they chump. I would imagine so. No. Alright. Let's cast another big guy. Sure, grab the prize. Okay. Crash in. Are they gonna triple block and then burn it? Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'll kill both of the Kessigs. Yep. Take 5. Second main, I'm just gonna cast the Lothlet Giant. It's not gonna deal any damage, but it is a 6/5. And I am going to keep a forest in hand in the case I draw one of my Scrapwork Mutts. I'm not very interested in dredging, but I am interested in just getting more creatures. Opponent no longer attacks. Jump. Okay. Weird that they didn't attack with this Knacker. Play Imp. Pass the turn. And there's that. So, a pretty compelling win. 2-0. We did get a little lucky in game 1 because we had the things we needed early. And our opponent did just, like, not set up enough. I'll take it. That's great. See you guys for round number 5. Alright, guys. Magic Online crashed again, as it is per usual. This is not a keepable hand. We only have a bounce land. If the bounce land was a different land, we could have kept this. This is also still a mulligan. And okay, so I'm going to ship the giant, and this is really slow. I think... What now, huh? Because if our opponent is an aggressive deck, Not to the Bone is great. If our opponent is not, this is a dead card. I think I'm going to ship this and trust that I can find one of the other 3 if we need. Okay, I'm already happy with my choice. Seeing Island already makes me think it's not always in hand. It is Fae. Okay. So we are not sideboarded very well against Fae. In other versions of the deck, I played Scavenger Wickerfolk, or it's a great draw. Scavenged? I don't know, Wickerfolk, or Vitu-Ghazi Force Spike. Gah. Okay. Force Spike in Fairies? I haven't seen that before. Or Vitu-Ghazi Inspector, which is a 2-mana 1/3 reach that if you can collect evidence 6 when you play it, you can put a +1/+1 counter on a creature and gain 2 life, and that card is just nuts against fairies. Okay, so they had their good play. Force Spike on turn 2 broke me. I need to top deck something good now. Top bottom, you don't count. Yeah. This is not a good situation. I think we already lost this one. The removal of our creature on turn 2 plus the fact that I'm all tap lands is probably just too much. I mean, I'll keep playing, but I'm not very happy about it. Cycle. Untapped Swamp. Rot Farm. Pick it up. Pass. And I'm just gonna pass. I'm not gonna pretend I have something. Off one mind. Opponent's gonna draw another card. Yep. my best place to just... Okay, miscreant. Okay, so I'm gonna attempt to do this, but if it doesn't resolve, I am perfectly fine going to a next game. Yeah, Spell Pierce. Okay, so I'm fine going to the next game. I have nothing in hand. My opponent's gonna draw a million cards a turn, and I'm just dead in the water to a Spell Stutter. So, in this situation, Acorn Harvests, good. Molten Gatekeeper, good. Not to the Bone, okay, not great. I think I'm going to shave a couple of those. Subterranean Shambler notably does not hit creatures without flying. So only hits creatures without flying. So doesn't hit the fairies or anything. Not good enough to bring in. And, I mean, there is an argument for Ray of Revelation. I have done that in the past before. I think on the play, I'm fine maybe like... Yeah, I think I'm fine bringing them in. Can cut back. No, two's too many, right? I think I'll bring in one. I think I'm fine bringing in one. I think the first Ray of Revelation is pretty good, because the first one allows you to hit either Ninja of the Moon Circuit Hacker. Yeah, this is fine. Either Moon Circuit Hacker or any of the tap shenanigans that they're going to bring in, because they always have either Bind the Monster or the other one that makes it a toy. Fairy Seer, sure. Top, scary. I'll just play my thing. Land Druid. Yes. Okay, so we hit a Generous Ant. Generous Ant is pretty decent here. But I don't have a very good play for turn number 3 yet. Let's see if we get Ninja'd. We do, and it's the big one. Not nice. Would really like to draw a Drumland. Okay, that's a play. I think I'm fine discarding Ray of Revelation. I don't care if our opponent knows about it. And I am fine attacking 2. If our opponent has some sort of removal, bounce, or whatever situation for Mutt, I will just chump with the plant token. See, that's exactly what I was talking about. Bind the monster on Stinkweed Imp is really annoying. It's okay, you can attack, I'll just chump, not give you a card. And I don't even think I'm gonna care about this too much. Okay, so opponent notably missed 3rd land drop. I'll just play a Stinkweed Imp and County Garden, and I will continue to attack. Again, if opponent has a 2nd Bind the Monster on the Stinkweed Imp, I will just chump with the plant token again. Actually, maybe I could have not attacked. Yeah, okay, the bounce is not great. I could have not attacked so that I could have blocked better, but I think I'm okay. I'll just keep blocking the ninja. If they ninjutsu, they don't. Okay. Misprint. And nothing. So notably, they now have access to Stutter, which is the thing that I don't want them to have. So I'm just gonna play off of Stutter. I'll just grab a land, and I'll just play a 4-drop here. Yeah, Counterspell and... what's it called? Counterspell and Spell Pierce get me, sure, but I don't want to get hit by a Stutter here. Force Spike again. Oh, that card. The card is really good against us. Okay, pass the turn. And now I will chump with the land druid and just grab my forest back. Guess not. They are very aggressively going for these plays. Okay. Mm-hmm. Miscrunch. So now they have the necessary mana for the spell stutter sprite, which is not great. What do I want to do? Not necessary mana, the necessary amount of fairies. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna get hit by it, aren't I? That's really bad. It's really, really bad. Um, I do have a dread return, so but I can't really double spell in regards to creatures. I needed an extra land drop to do that. And I don't have double red to Molten Gatekeeper twice. Yeah, it's not looking good for us. I mean, I'll do it, but I know what's gonna happen. Yeah. Yeah, the double bind the monster is plus a snap is really bad for us. Okay, I'll just destroy this right away. Yeah, right away. Now the problem is if our opponent attacks and then ninjas stutter and then gets it back, and then we are in a world of trouble. Okay, they didn't. We're still in a world of trouble, but maybe we're not just straight up dead. Do I want this back? I don't even think so. I think I'll just draw a card. That's good. Wayfinder. Opponent deep in the tank. Resolves. No hits. That's rough. Uh, let's try Imp again. Counterspell. Okay. So I believe what our opponent is trying to do is to clock us over 2 turns. Oh, I should no, I shouldn't have not attacked because I don't want to give them a chance to just get in with the ninja. So I have a chance here to double block the ninja, but I don't think I want to do that. First of all, Humbling Elder is a card. But second, I think I just want to keep my creatures in play because there is a chance I just kill my opponent. Dredge. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Like, I have a lot of damage here. So, if my opponent has nothing, I think we got them. But I don't think that's going to be the case. Gatekeeper. Mm. Now, how do I want to proceed? Gatekeeper is 3 damage with Wayfinder. Yeah, like I can beat a Spell Pierce, but I can't beat Counterspell, Spell Stutter, or Pierce plus 4 Spike, for example. And also Brian Barrow. No, actually, they haven't played a Brian Barrow, and I think they would have at some point, right? Notably, 3 life is really bad. If it was 4, I could Acorn Harvest, and that would make the math way easier. Okay, let's just go to attacks. Hit for 3. Okay. Land. Imp. And they do have a counterspell. So that's that. I can go up. Yeah, because I can only go up 2 points of damage. I can't go up 3 because this is not a real creature. And the 1 life that I'm missing, I mean, technically, I'm not dead. I can attempt to do this. Yeah, okay. Not technically dead. Oh, they had double counterspell? Yeah, I was just dead. GG's. Okay. Opponent drew the nuts there. It was really rough for us. Well, so at the end of the day, that was a 3-2 record. Not the best, not the worst. I've done way worse playing this deck. Um, the defeats that we had, one of them was a really good game. The Fairies match was really good. Elves, as I said, really bad overall. And even with trying the Shamblers, I don't know if I'm happy with that. That is one of the situations where if I had just given up the Shamblers in the sideboard, they could have been something else, like the Vitugazi Inspectors, for example, or even like uh, the dragons that ping for 1 damage or anything else. But I'll keep tinkering the list. Again, thank you very much for Marzaboi for the original thought behind this. I hope you guys enjoyed and you have a great day.